So I just got done doing my 1 hour of Khmer, and I also got done doing 2 hours of classwork at Liberty University, the Master's in Public Health and Global Health. And so 19 is Dobrambun 1054, and this is two. Remember, this is two, like television, and the way I encoded it in my mind is 1819. So two or more tumor, and then I was thinking, well, how should I encode two? And then I know that the next syllable is new, like in New York or Operation Udon. So I don't know. This kind of reminded me of Neil deGrasse Tyson, his wife Alice Young, his son Travis Tyson, and Miranda Tyson, his daughter. And 200 Central Park West is the American Natural History Museum in New York City. And it's also the Hayden Planetarium where Neil deGrasse Tyson does Star Talk and a bunch of other things. And when I think of Neil deGrasse Tyson, or Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist, for fun, I always think of reincarnation of Neil Armstrong, astronaut. That's just me. So, yeah, this is kind of how I study. I kind of keep it half online, half offline. And so this is week 1 of Principles of Epidemiology. And you might ask yourself, hey, Nine, you worked as an epidemiologist for the Army. You've finished all the classwork for a PhD in epidemiology. Aren't you a recognized expert in epidemiology? Yes, but I enjoy the subject so much. It's kind of like a mathematician doesn't mind doing math. So I read the student syllabus. I did the introduction, and I responded to 3 of my classmates, and I wrote to them, hi classmates and future colleagues. A lot of times on these forums, like when I was on the forum in Walden, all my classmates almost kicked me out to go build TopWiki. I had like 30 classmates, and I started talking to them all about TopWiki, and they're like, you need to build this and stop school. And so I'm actually being really careful not to bring up TopWiki. But I was talking about, from the bottom of my heart, I was telling my classmates, it's such a great pleasure to be in this class with you. God bless you all. And then I just was being honest. God, to me, equals great unknown. And that's me being honest. I wrote, I'm a husband and a father to 2 very beautiful, funny, and super smart little girls. At the moment, they are the world. In some ways, I'm taking this class for them. I want to be a good role model to them. And all of my other colleagues, most of whom, because my colleagues is basically like the internet, don't believe in formal education. It's a little bit of a long story how I ended up in Bali, Indonesia, but it has to do with COVID-19 and training for an upcoming Ironman triathlon, which just got moved to October 25th of this year, Subic Bay, Philippines. Too much information, but I wrote greetings from Bali, Indonesia, so they're like, oh, well, you're Indonesian? You're a Balinesian? No, just a random white guy stuck here. I am and always have been a team player. I don't want to say anything bad about anybody in my family, but it's a family of critics and contrarians, mostly, like 80-90%. So growing up, it was very, very important to me to not carry on that legacy. For whatever reasons, I don't know if one's better than the other. I really don't know. And then I wrote, I believe in higher education, both self-taught, recognized by the internet community. Boy, if you are self-taught and you know what you're talking about, you can expect millions of people to harass you on the internet. Even though if it's not formal, it's not necessarily recognized by society or your family or your immediate peer group. But that's important too. You don't want to be like, develop a complex. I could really go into that. So I said, forgive me if I go too deep sometimes in our forums. This is me being honest. A bad habit of mine. Probably from writing my school's Everett Community College's most popular newspaper column titled Deep Thoughts. Boy, when I wrote Deep Thoughts, I had people come up to me at Everett Community College. People not only read it, they debated it. And just for fun, my friend and I, Casey Meyering, would stop random people and be like, Have you read Deep Thoughts? Yes. Or we'd stop people and be like, what's your favorite newspaper column? They'd be like, I like Deep Thoughts. And then I'd be like, well, I'm the guy who writes it. They'd either get really angry at me or be like, or love me, one or the other. But it's the first time in my life I realized thousands of people read what sometimes seems like nobody reads. So it's a good life advice to just assume you're always being watched all the time. Not in a paranoid way, but in a way that you can turn into something really positive. And then I wrote, at this point in my life, I only have observations. That's something Joe Biden said. There I am doing my camera. So that's something Joe Biden said in a commencement address. He said, I only have observations. And my computer is acting interesting. So I'll wrap this up. Did my Khmer, did my 2 hours of classwork, and yeah, I feel really good, really happy, and I'm really looking forward to doing like 1 or 2 minute videos just showing my classwork and my Khmer, so that hopefully I can be a good influence on all my friends. Like, hey, learn your kids and wife's language. Go back to school. Yeah.